Thank you, and good morning, everyone. I'm going to present a South African researcher's perspective on ongoing cooperation in the Atlantic with researchers around the Atlantic. And I'm going to start from our location at the tip of Africa, and we look northwards into the North Atlantic, and we look westwards to South America. And those views cover considerable distances. And so rather than try and go through all the areas of cooperation that exist between South Africa and other countries, I thought I would structure my presentation around a question: why collaborate with South Africans? And of course, this is the reciprocal question, and my answers, that I've got 6 answers to this question, really reflect answers that we have as to why we collaborate with other people. So the first answer is that we collaborate because we're actually quite good at it. And this is because we have a long history of collaborative, interdisciplinary, and interinstitutional research among the marine community in South Africa. But I'd like to describe a current example of some international collaboration from my own institute, the University of Cape Town. Over the last several years, in fact, more than a decade, the marine research and education at the University of Cape Town has been supported by 3 pillars. The first of those is the Marine Research Institute, which is a university institute. So that's a South African institute embedded in the university. The second is ICIMASA, which is a French-South African joint laboratory which is located at the University of Cape Town. And in practice, what this involves is over many years, up to 11, that's been the maximum, French researchers based at the University of Cape Town for periods from several months to several years. And those researchers are embedded in the university departments, and they participate fully in teaching and research with South African partners. The third pillar is the Nansen Tutu Center, which is a Norwegian South African center also based at the University of Cape Town, with strong ties to the Nansen Center in Bergen and also other Nansen centers elsewhere in the world. These 3 pillars support interdisciplinary research and education, and each has its own focus areas, but there are also gaps, and together they're able to fill some of those gaps and to supplement and complement the research activities and the training activities. And this has been a really successful model for cooperation, and we are indeed planning to extend and improve the model with a new proposed International Marine Research and Education Center in Cape Town, with a vision to establish a multi-partner, a permanent and stable research facility in South Africa to undertake multidisciplinary and integrated research in marine scientists, but also with strong visibility in Africa and beyond to be attractive to students and foreign experts. At the kernel of the proposed center are the 3 partners that are already there, and we are also looking to additional partners. And the idea is that with a strong international core, we are then able to strengthen our linkages both nationally, in Africa, and also outside of Africa for the benefit of marine research and education. My second answer to the question is collaboration is needed because global issues require global observations. And in the Atlantic, the large-scale circulation is only possible to understand with a good observation network. This diagram, this map, is showing the locations of observation platforms that South Africa is involved in, either on a national, a bilateral, or a multilateral basis. And you can see quite an extensive array in the South Atlantic, but also importantly extending into the Indian Ocean and the Southern Ocean, because of course the connections among the basins are also important. These observations form part of large-scale climate programs investigating transport sources and losses of heat, salt, and carbon in the Atlantic and elsewhere. But moving from the open ocean to the coastal ocean is where humans directly interact with the oceans. And it's the area where most of the world's fisheries are located, and coastal communities are among the most vulnerable in terms of climate change impacts. So what are the benefits of collaboration when we come to the coastal ocean? Well, each coastal ecosystem has a local context, but that local context often has global relevance. And I'm going to just give a quick example to illustrate what I mean by that. This is an example of a technical research issue concerning the measurements of ocean color from satellites. In South Africa, on the west coast, we have a coastal upwelling ecosystem, which means it's extremely productive. And the chlorophyll signals in those coastal waters are extremely high, and they confound the usual algorithms that are used to calculate chlorophyll concentrations. So the team in South Africa at the CSIR has developed new algorithms and validated those to estimate the biomasses, the sizes, and the types of phytoplankton in these very productive waters. And what is illustrated here is an application of those algorithms where the color represents a time sequence from blue, February in the year, to red is June. And you can see how a harmful algal bloom was initiated in the northern part of this region and then was tracked southwards over quite a considerable period of time. Sorry, I've lost my third, I deleted a whole bunch of slides because my presentation was too long. My third answer was that we also collaborate because in coastal ecosystems, the only way we are going to be able to understand change in those ecosystems is by doing comparisons with ecosystems elsewhere. The systems are simply too complicated, and they have local and remote forcing. And so I'm going to just describe two collaborative projects that we are currently involved in that rely very strongly on the comparative approach. So the first of those is the Indices project, Indicators for the Seas, which has the objective of looking at the effects of fishing on the health status of marine ecosystems. And the indicators that are being applied in all of the different ecosystems on the map, which are represented by the yellow dots all over the globe, those span indicators of changes in the physical environment, the biological environment, and also in the human system. And that is a project that is co-led by scientists from South Africa, France, and Canada. The second example is the GOLS project, Global Learning for Local Solutions, and this is a project that has the objective of reducing vulnerability of marine-dependent coastal communities. It's led by scientists from South Africa and Australia, funded by the Belmont Forum, but it has a focus on case studies, which are illustrated in yellow on the map: Australia, India, Madagascar, Mozambique, South Africa, and Brazil, but also with partners from the USA, the UK, and New Zealand. And this is a project that has a very strong social science component, and this is an area where I think very fruitful results will come from the project, looking at the adaptability of coastal communities from countries, developing countries, through to developed countries. The fifth answer to why we should collaborate is that collaboration provides shared opportunities for learning. And I'm giving 4 examples here. The first is, this is an illustration from a master's course, an interdisciplinary master's course that we offer in Cape Town, which has been running since 2002. And approximately half of our students on that course come from South Africa, but the other half come from other countries in Africa and Europe. You can see all of the countries where the students have originated shown on the map. When we are looking at large societal problems linked to the ocean, it's important not only that our students have interdisciplinary training, but also that they learn at an early age how to network, and that the networks are established early on, and we have a deliberate policy of trying to internationalize these courses so that those networks can be set up. The second example of shared opportunities is collaboration in a recent call under the Marie Curie Innovative Training Network, where we are part of a consortium of 10 countries, 7 European, plus South Africa, Chile, and the USA, involving 18 institutions, 14 PhD students, and we have 9 training workshops planned in that proposal. Third, this involves a collaboration with AVI, where we are, the Southern African students have been invited to participate in a training cruise on board the Polarstern under the leadership of POGO and the Nippon Foundation, as the Polarstern sails at the end of the year to Antarctica. It goes from Bremerhaven to Cape Town, and the students will participate on that cruise, living and learning together on the ship, and also further developing the networking capabilities. And then the last education example is a massive open online course that we are in the early stages of developing in Cape Town in collaboration with the large marine ecosystem network. But I wanted to mention this because it also emphasizes an area of research expertise in South Africa, which is the ecosystem approach to fisheries management. We have undertaken a lot of research in support of EAF, and South Africa is one of the countries that is busy trying to implement EAF. And then finally, South Africa, of course, does provide a doorway into Africa. And this is illustrated in this map of a Pan-African Marine Research Network as part of the EAMnet FP7 project. And what I wanted to point out on this map was the way so many of those lines curl into Cape Town. And that is because many of the linkages do start in Cape Town, not all of them. I mean, obviously there are other linkages, but we do have good connections with the rest of Southern Africa and Africa. And those are connections that will be strengthened with the recent launching of the Alliance of Research Universities in Africa, of which the University of Cape Town is one of the 15 partners, and 5 other South African universities as well. And then finally, I didn't put that up, but everybody wants to come to South Africa because it really is a beautiful place to be. Cape Town is a beautiful place, and we really value our existing collaborators, and we welcome new collaborators as well. Thank you.